Welcome everyone. Adam the Woo here as the recording of this Wednesday, September 24th, 2025. As you can tell by the noise this vehicle is making, I am in Mini Marge, my glorified golf cart. It's like a golf cart but a little bit bigger, but it's still the same realm of a golf cart. I have returned home to Celebration, Florida. I arrived last night around 1 a.m. Slept a good portion of the day, uploaded yesterday's video, and then slept a majority of the day as well. So a lot of sleep has happened. I'm not going to say that I've been caught up on sleep, but I've gotten more sleep in the last day, well, half of a day, than I have in quite a while. Did a lot of events in SoCal, did a lot of, things, populated conventions, theme parky stuff. Very busy. My own fault, honestly. Now that I'm looking back on it, may have been a little too much. As I'm getting older, it's getting a little more difficult to do super late night events that end after midnight, multiple days in a row of the haunt persuasion, where you're going through tons and tons of houses. But more on that later. I'm inviting you to join me. Let's get some coffee, see where the day leads. Join me where the night leads, shall you? Current temperature at 6 minutes until 7 p.m. It is 6:54. Let's call it 7 p.m., which means it's 4 p.m. in SoCal. Not a drastic amount of time difference. Not like I went international. My next international trip will be in November. But most of October, with the exception of like 3 days, I think I'm only gone 3 days in all of October, so I am home the rest of this month, which is another week, and into all of October with the exception of like 3 days. I am so looking forward to that thought process. I've been gone too long. Oh, they're playing baseball over here. They're playing baseball. Acquired a parking spot over here, wedged in to this little section. Just got it on the cusp here. Just got it on the cusp. I could have probably been up another couple inches there, but that works too. There's no spot behind me, so it should be fine. Went ahead and ordered a coffee, mobile order. Should be ready by the time I walk up there. It's good to be back. So I totaled up how long I've been gone. Well, I mean, I'm always gone, but this last trip, I did come home for 4 to 5 days. So putting that asterisk on there. But of the last 50 days, I've only been home I've only been gone. Let me rephrase that. I've been gone 45 of the last 50 days. I was only home 4 or 5 days and I left again. This last trip I was gone 4 weeks, a full month. Before that I was gone a few weeks. So of the last 50 days, I've been gone for 45 of them. That's just it's a little much. It's a little much. I want to talk about that. All right, piping hot caffeinated beverage acquired. They have drawn some little flowers on here. Are those petunias? It might be. And then around the back, enjoy. I've noticed Starbucks has been writing something on every cup now, where they used to just sporadically do it, but now they're putting it on almost every cup. There's a lot of cloud formation out here too, which is pretty beautiful, to be honest. Yeah, it's going to be very nice and also very interesting and odd to my brain to be home for a while coming up, which is going to be very, very much needed, because I feel like I've been on the go more than I need to be on the go. I don't know what it is in my brain or in my whatever, the buildup of myself that makes me want to always be gone and go. Maybe I find comfort in always being nonstop and changing hotels and traveling and getting on planes. And I'm not going to slow that down, but I'm definitely going to kind of readjust. Well, maybe I will slow down a little bit. And this is really a good time of the day to pop out. Well, people have told me that it's been a little cooler here in Florida since I've been gone, but I have not been able to, really chime in on that because I have not been here myself. But now that I'm back, and I did not step outside of my home today until an hour ago, so now that dusk is starting to rear its head, it's a little cooler and not as bad that I'm sure it was earlier when the sun was really, really high up in the air. But I am getting the sunset views here. love the mirrored reflection on the lake of the palm trees, or the trees in general, I should say. Do you have that Florida humidity? That's definitely still here, even though it's not, I guess you wouldn't call this the heart of summer towards the end of September, but it's still warm. So that's going to be interesting to deal with while I'm here. So for the last 10 years, well, 12 years, some parks 12 years, but for the last 10 years, I've gone really heavy on SoCal theme park stuff. Well, not necessarily the theme park stuff, but the theme park haunt stuff. Haunt season, if you will. You've heard me refer to that. Out in SoCal, which in my opinion, the greater Los Angeles area has the best Halloween time frame of haunt season, or at least it did. I feel like post 2020, 2021, when the events came back after the closures of 2020, they have not the hype from those going, and even the haunts themselves, with the exception of HHN and Scary Farm. I feel like all the other ones, or a majority of the other ones, aren't as good as what they once were. Just something about it has been a little off. Those that want to watch the videos, those going to film the videos, those going to the events, those putting on the events, those creating the events, there's been, and I cannot put my finger on it, but something has been different since 2021. In fact, I went back and I watched some of my 2019 stuff, a couple of them, and I thought, wow, it was like it really was a different kind of vibe then than it is now. I mean, it's still kicking, but it's like, I don't know, something hasn't bounced back yet. Or maybe I'm just getting a little older, getting a little worn out, a little bit easier by go, walking, 30,000 steps a day, multiple days in a row, going through haunts, staying up till the wee hours of dawn to edit. Who knows? Either way, I think this might be the last year that I go as heavy on spending as much time out in SoCal during September. Probably always going to do Scary Farm, always going to do HHN. But other than that, I think I'm going to pick and choose on all the other ones that I've been doing for a long time. Back in the day, 2015, 2016, 17, even 18 and 19. Oh, there's a bunny. Well, that's a squirrel, but that's a bunny right there. 10 years ago when I would do a Halloween video, they would do really well. Mostly because not everyone was going out and filming it, but it's a different world now. Even many other people I know that have been doing haunt videos for a long time, this season they noticed across the board the interest is not there, noticeably different in the amount of people that are tuning in than what used to. And I think the reason is because so many more people are doing it, and it's such a tiny little community, the people that get it. And once you have so many people putting this stuff out for that community, it's tough to really choose who to tune into. Look at the squirrels running around. It's not going to taper back my interest. Obviously, I'm going to be putting my Halloween stuff out into early October, really into the Halloween season. I'm going to be do some of the haunts here in Florida. I'm going to be doing some spooky stuff to theme parks around this area. But I just think in the future, I'm going to slow down on how long I'm out in California doing those haunts. Maybe I'll start making more Florida stuff. Enjoy being here a little more. Time will tell, but it's definitely been something that's been on my mind. And I also miss traveling the U.S. I started doing the international this year, and I have a big international trip in November. Maybe a couple countries, maybe even a country in December, while I'm out and about for my November country. But I think in the next year I'm not going to do as much international stuff, and if I do, I'll just go out for a few weeks, go somewhere and come back, a couple times a year. But I really would like to get back to some US road trips. It's just, I don't know, it clears my head, makes me feel good. I like just getting out by myself into, the country that I know, country that I love, country that I'm comfortable with. And I just love Americana. So there's going to be more of that coming back next year. Been thinking about it a lot recently. And I think, I was talking kind of how the haunts haven't really been at their full potential since, pre-2020. And I think I really haven't been at my full potential because I've really been kind of neglecting doing the road trip stuff. I'm never going to move back into a van, or no plans, I should say, to move back into a van or an RV, but I would like to hit some of the... It's been a while since I've gone across the country and done small stuff. That will not be until next year, but it's coming back. It's definitely going to come back. On a small scale, but that small scale will be a much bigger scale than I have been doing the last couple of years, and I definitely recognize that is missing from my life. Oh, that's nice. Here are the insects, seeing the glare of the sun bouncing off the clouds there. Very nice, very nice. Now, I will be doing a lot of events the rest of this month. Well, September and October, obviously. With All Hallows Eve approaching, there are some convention, events, theme park stuff until then. Talking about into next year. And then obviously my international travel in November and December. So there will be some in October. But I think the fact that they will be localized in the Central Florida area, and I'll be able to come home and sleep in my own bed, will be nice on its own. When you sleep in a hotel bed 45 out of 50 days, it's different. It's different than being home. And again, this is all brought upon myself. There's no one telling me I have to do that, making me do that. I'm just doing stuff I enjoy, trying to live my life and do things that I like to do. But I'm definitely looking forward to a reset. Starting today, I've got to do a little reset. Got to regroup, reset, rethink, reevaluate, and get some slumber. Get some rest, get some slumber. Spend time at the house I bought. There's only a few games left of Rays baseball before their season comes to an end. Oh, someone's coming by on some Segways. I haven't seen Segways in a long time. It's also going to be interesting having no baseball for me to follow after a few days when the Rays play their last final games. They're not making it to the postseason. All year I've been following the Rays, rooting for them in spring training, going to games, listening to games, watching games. I listen to games. I said it twice because I listen to a lot of games. But no baseball for me until early next year of 26, so that's weird. Darkness has certainly reared its head out here. I just love this town so much. Not seeing any deer. So yeah, my thoughts right now, this is the first impressions of, I call it Halloween 2.0. So Halloween 1.0 was in August. That would have been the Midsummer Scream, the Knott's Scary Farm Nightmares Reveal, the announcements, all that. That was a whole hype, whole bunch of hype in August. And then September is Halloween 2.0, which is my SoCal theme parky haunts. Scary Farm, HHN, Six Flags Fright Fest. What else? Dark Harbor, Queen Mary, Disneyland, Oogie Boogie Bash, etc. And now, once October starts here, we get into Halloween 3.0, the Florida version. Kind of hard to see it from here, but there's a crescent moon up there. Yeah, kind of right in the center of the screen. You can kind of see it. I'm no longer doing weigh-ins and making extreme promises to myself. I've talked about this before. But it's painfully evident by looking in the mirror when I see myself on camera and in the mirror and all that over the last 2 months, since pre-birthday, starting 2 weeks before my birthday on August 10th, I kind of went off the rails a little bit with eating, and it's really starting to catch up with me. I'm not the fattest I've ever been. I'm not the heaviest I've ever been. I'm not the most overweight I've ever been. But it's creeping up, and I figure if I don't adjust it now, in the next month that I'm home, I'll probably just keep going down that road. Again, no promises, not going to do any weigh-ins or anything like that, but there's a good chance you'll see me doing some treadmill stuff, doing some workout stuff over the next month. I'm going to be here for 4 weeks. No plans on leaving Central Florida. Really no excuse on why I can't jump in here into the home gym and set up some kind of a regiment of sorts. So just throwing that out there. I've noticed, I know others have noticed, and when you just kind of throw caution to the wind as far as diet goes, it really does catch up quick. However, I have learned that if you just put yourself to some sort of, routine the opposite way, I can usually take it off almost as quick as I gain it. So we'll see what happens. I'm not going to be hitting the scale, not going to be giving daily updates or anything like that, but see what I can do by Halloween, and hopefully I could, be weigh a little less by Halloween and feel a little bit better. Because I think that's the biggest thing. I'm starting to feel the fact that I'm gaining a little bit of weight, which that's when your body tells you got to do something. So we'll see what happens. But just throwing that out there. Also, I just want to chime in with this as well, as far as the international stuff. In a roundabout way, kind of wish I wouldn't have gone as heavy on the SoCal. It's not speaking of weight, not heavy weight-wise, but as heavy on the content in SoCal as far as Halloween stuff goes. Granted, I'm going to be going, pretty intensely on that here because I'm home. I can sleep in my own bed, but traveling all the way across the U.S. and getting hotels to do all that, I kind of feel like I probably should have just kept doing the international stuff, but live and learn. November, pick back up with the international. December, international. And then some international into next year. I am going to do international a little bit different next year. Instead of doing, one a month or so, I'll go somewhere, let's say 3 or 4 months into the year, I'll go somewhere for 2 or 3 weeks and hit a couple countries, or one country for 2 or 3 weeks, then come back, take a few months off from international, and do it that way, instead of trying to, do one a month like I did the first 7 months of this year. The only thing I've added to the magnet collection over here with the domestic stuff was I got a little midsummer screen, a couple magnets there, and I've added a Knott's Hotel right there. And that's going to do it for today as I sit here in my living room looking over at the Haunted Mansion light, which I've talked about before, but that Haunted Mansion light that's illuminating the orange coloration from the ceiling line used to hang at the Haunted Mansion from 1971 until around 2014, 2015. So for decades, guests would walk right underneath that. And I was given that as a gift after they remodeled it, and it sat in a box for many years from a buddy of mine. And then another friend of mine, Dune Buggy Jim, helped me mount that up there. So after owning it for almost a decade of it sitting, kind of rotting away, full of cobwebs, he helped me get that up there. So I love it. I love just sitting here, returning home, turning the mansion light on. Just a heads up, there's going to be a lot of Disney World content coming up. A lot of Central Florida content, event content, driving around in Mini Marge, looking at Halloween decorations content, me putting up my own Halloween decorations content the rest of this month and into October. There's certain things that I will do that I know is not going to have the most interest for those who have either subscribed to me or been watching for a long time. There are certain subject matters in the last few years that I know will not gain interest as much as others. Baseball being the number one. Anytime I would do a Rays game, even traveling to Yankee Stadium, Red Sox Stadium, Fenway, any of those places, very rarely would those get a major interest from my viewers. But I just do it because I love to do it. Halloween stuff, pretty much since 2021 and on, even though I've been doing a lot of the haunts I mentioned for the last decade or 12 years. But in the last 4 or 5 years, kind of garnish the same type of interest. If I do any sort of Halloween thing, especially theme park stuff, events, they don't do very well. It's the lower tier, the small niche, or is it niche? Niche or niche will watch it. But there are certain things that I like to do that I just do because I like to do them. The baseball series was a really good example. And the Halloween stuff is a good example. Even though I am going to taper back a little bit on that as far as traveling out of the state to go to those kind of events, I still love them. And, like putting that stuff out there as a video diary for myself to look back on and others to look back on when they could say, hey, what was this year? What was 2022 SoCal haunt season looking like? You can always go back and search the stuff that I did. So I do that from time to time and referencing things when I'm talking to others or being around friends. But they can't all be home runs. And the baseball stuff definitely were not home runs. Those were the least amount of interest for those. But there is a select group of people that do subscribe and watch my videos that's their favorite stuff. Just like the Halloween stuff. So it's a mixed bag here on the TheDailyWoo. And I appreciate everyone that watches. Whether you watch the mixed bag, whether you watch some of the bag, whether you take all the bag and dump it on the table and watch everything that the bag presents. I appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next video. I'm home for 4 weeks. That does not mean I'm not going to do other stuff out of celebration, but it will be in the greater Central Florida area. There'll be some Disney World stuff. There might even be a DVC Orlando Disney World stay or two. Some resort stuff, some spring stuff, some convention stuff, Halloween stuff, maybe even a home vlog or two. Be kind of neat to do a video where I don't even leave the house. It just, do some stuff around the house, show some stuff in the different rooms, some stuff I've collected. All right, I'm going to turn the TV on now and watch the Rays play. They only have 3 or 4 games left. I think they're in the middle of the game now, and they are winning currently. Checking the score while I'm pointing over here. It's the bottom of the 5th inning against Baltimore, and they're up 3-0. Man, I love the Rays. Oh, also, the Rays are getting a new owner. Stu Sternberg is passing the torch. He bought the team, I think, for $200 million. $200 to $300 million. And he sold it a couple decades later. Drum roll. Internal drum roll. For $1.7 billion. So he made some money. Kind of wish he would have taken a little bit of that money I knew he was going to make and invested in a heavier arsenal of players. But next year, they're going to be back at the Trop. And then we're going to hear about new ownership and where they're going to move to. Will they stay in St. Pete? Will they move to Tampa? Will they come over to Orlando? Will they go to Ybor? I don't think Orlando's going to happen, but if Ybor happens, I would be all for that. That is way closer than driving to Tropicana Field over in St. Pete. Ybor is this closer to this side of me from Tampa. So that would be east of Tampa. I've talked too much while pointing at this light. It's a long outro. But thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. The vlog is over.